What if I told you there's a side business out there where you can make hundreds of dollars per appointment and you get paid before you even do the real work? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about with Apostille Services. And over the next few minutes, we're going to break down this whole blueprint for you.
Okay, let's just jump right into the best part. I want you to forget about chasing down invoices or waiting 30, 60 days for a check. With this business, you get paid right then and there. We're talking cash in hand right away.
And look, this isn't just pocket change. A single appointment, just one, can easily put over $200 straight into your bank account. And that's often for just a few hours of your time. Now here's the real game changer. You get paid upfront. Your fee is totally secured before you even start dealing with all the paperwork. I mean, for anyone who's ever run any kind of service business, you know how huge that is for your cash flow. So you're probably asking yourself, what on earth is an apostille anyway? Let's break this down, because really understanding this one key concept is your first step to actually making money from it. You know, the easiest way to think about it is like this. It's a passport for your document. Seriously, it's this special certificate that the Secretary of State physically attaches to your document. It basically proves the signature is legit, so another country will look at it and say, yep, this is official, we'll accept it. Now, here's where it gets interesting, a really crucial distinction you have to know. An apostille, that's the simple one-step process for countries that are part of this international agreement called the Hague Convention. But for any country that's not in that club, you need something way more complex called an authentication. Okay, so what does a job actually look like from start to finish? Let's walk through the whole process, right from the moment a client calls you, to the point you hand them back their fully certified document. Honestly, the basic process is surprisingly simple. You meet your client, you might have to notarize a signature, and then you just take the document down to the Secretary of State's office. And get this, it's often super quick. Sometimes you're in and out in less than 20 minutes. They attach the official apostille, and boom, you just package it up and deliver it back to your happy client. But wait, that simple four-step process? That's not always the whole story. The path a document has to take can actually get a little more complicated, and it all depends on where it came from and where it's headed. So the very first question you always have to ask is, where did this document originate? Is it a state-level document, like a birth certificate, or is it a federal one, like an FBI background check? The answer to that one question changes its entire journey. For most of the jobs you're going to get, which involve state documents going to a Hague Convention country, the path is super simple. The document just goes straight to your state's Secretary of State, and that's it. Job done. Easy peasy. Federal documents, though, they're a different animal. They have to be handled at the federal level. That means you can't just pop down to your state capital. Nope, these have to be processed by the U.S. Department of State, all the way in Washington, D.C. And here it is, the most complex path, and by the way, usually the most profitable. For a document going to a non-Hague country, it needs that full authentication. It has to go through the state, then the U.S. Department of State, and finally it has to go to that specific country's embassy for the final stamp of approval. More steps means more value, and more value means more money for you. Okay, let's talk about the money. I mean, that's what we're all here for, right? How do you actually price these services, and what does the profit really look like on a real job? Let's break it down. But first, a really quick but important note. The numbers we're about to look at, they're just an example. Your pricing can be totally flexible. It should be based on your city, how far you are from the government offices, and just how complex the job is. All right, so here's a real-world sample quote. Let's say it's a complicated job. It involves an out-of-state document, maybe a translation, and a courier. The grand total you'd charge the client is $515. So, where does a number like that come from? Let's look at the breakdown. You've got your main service fee, let's say $200. Then you have all these pass-through costs that you pay on behalf of the client, like state fees and shipping. But you're also charging for coordinating other things, like a courier fee and a notary fee. See how your fees are clearly separated from the hard costs? It's all about transparency. So after you've paid all those third-party costs, the state fees, the shipping, the translator, all of it, the amount that goes directly into your pocket is $230. That's pure profit from just one appointment. Pretty amazing, right? All right, so we've covered what an apostille is, we've walked through how the process works, and we've seen how much money you can make. Now, let's wrap this all up with a clear blueprint for why this is such an awesome business to start. So, let's just recap why this business model is so powerful. First, you're providing a super high-value service, and you're getting paid right up front. The overhead, incredibly low.
It's also the perfect high-profit add-on for anyone who's already a notary. But you know what the best part is? You don't even have to be a notary to do this. You can be incredibly successful just as an apostille agent.
And that's pretty much the blueprint. You now have the core knowledge to start a business that can generate real, tangible profit, over $200 from a single client. So the only question left is, what would you do with your first one?